Hi guys, this is Miss Walls, and I'm making this video to help you through part 3 of this activity. So what we decided to do, the biology teachers decided to do this week, since for distance learning, was agents of disease, which kind of makes sense given everything that's going on. But we already did that because, we're awesome. So I looked for another activity that stuck with agents of disease and was relevant to kind of what's going on. And I found this activity about the Nipah virus, and it's a little bit more advanced, but I thought you guys would be interested, and it's something that really relates to what we're doing. So I wanted to kind of help you through part 3, what some of the questions we're asking when it came to incidence, prevalence, morbidity, mortality, and case fatality ratio. Incidence, and it's all here in the reading. Incidence, when you're looking at incidence, it's the number of new cases within a specific time period. So it gives you, 30,500 new cases per the total population divided by a year. And so in this paragraph right here, it has all that for you, right? It tells you here in Port Dixon, here is the number that were infected, the population, and then the time was from September to May. So that's really not that hard. September 98 through May 99, anybody who didn't pay attention to the year on that. But the prevalence, that one started getting a little bit more, actually morbidity and mortality was where more people tend to get confused. But prevalence is looking, I guess we should be looking at prevalence, is looking at the percentage of total infected individuals in a particular population. And so, again, you need to know the total number that are infected with the population. It's a percentage, guys. Don't forget to move the decimal. That's where y'all usually make your mistakes, is forgetting to move the decimal. Now, morbidity and mortality. Morbidity is looking at how many people, the infected people that actually display symptoms. So remember back when we talked about agents of disease, we talked about people who can be carriers. They have the disease, but they're not displaying any symptoms. It makes it really complicated when we start looking at, controlling that, as we are currently seeing with COVID-19. So morbidity is looking at the number of affected people who actually display symptoms. So when we're looking up here, we have this number of patients that are showing symptoms, but the total number of people is right here, right? Because we also have this 110 who have the antibodies, so that means they had the infection, but they don't have any symptoms. So again, percentage, it's going to be less than 1, and then you have to move your decimal place. And then mortality is looking at the number of infected individuals who have died, and they would die as a result of the infection. Again, this gives you the number of patients that have died, but total number of infected individuals is not just this number here. It's also including the 110 that didn't show any symptoms. And so morbidity and mortality, you got to include the ones that don't show any symptoms. And that can be pretty hard to find, because you have to test them to see if they had the antibodies to it. So what we're seeing right now with COVID-19, if you're following it, they're having problems tracking some of this information because it's so new and the information's changing a lot. So sometimes these numbers seem to change. If you look at the morbidity and mortality for this, it seems to be changing, but it's just as they get more information. And now case fatality ratio, if you look over here, case fatality ratio is the percentage of people with symptoms that died. So with symptoms that died, so you have the number that died divided by the number that had symptoms. This one, the case fatality ratio, you're going to exclude the ones that didn't have symptoms. And so a lot of what we're seeing, right, or what you see a lot of times when we look at the news, is this right here, because the people who actually had symptoms and those got reported. And then the R naught, when you're reading over here, that's R. And then the little subscript 0 is not, N-A-U-G-H-T, not N-O-T, but R, not, which really just makes me giggle when I say it out loud. But it's the number of infections, secondary infections, that a host is expected to cause. So if somebody's infected, how many people are they expected to then go out and infect? And that's what R naught is. So you're probably seeing that in the news right now as well. And that's what that's measuring, is how many people are likely to be infected by an infected host. Okay, so you're going to do, that's for part 3. I hope that helps. You can always reach out to me if you have more questions, and then you'll complete part 4 watching the video, which actually is really interesting about the Nipah virus and some of the stuff they looked into. And then you'll go on to part 5. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or a text message through